The fuck me eyes over a Katy Perry karaoke? Are you serious? Are you that down bad? Hello, welcome back to my channel. So, this is not an original concept at all, and I'm definitely late to it because I've seen all of my other favorite YouTubers already talk about it, but today I'm talking about He's All That because I watched it a few nights ago, and wow, it really was that bad. I kind of thought that it wouldn't be. Like, I was like, okay, well, it's directed by the person that directed Mean Girls, and Mean Girls is iconic, and it just seems like kind of a remake of like an early 2000s movie. To specify, I know that it's a remake of, or like a remake of He's All That. I wasn't talking about that. What I meant to say was that I just kind of figured that it would be like an homage or like an attempt at creating like the mid 2000s like chick flick, you know? So I was like, it can't really be that bad, right? No, it is that bad. And so I took a bunch of notes while watching it that I am just gonna go through for you guys today. The first note I have just says the product placement is insane, and that is so true. Like, from the very beginning of the movie to the very end, there are so many brands everywhere, like the EOS chapsticks, Core Water, Pelotons, different soda brands, different beauty brands, TikTok, like the app itself. The brands are everywhere, which leads me to assume that there was a pretty big budget for this movie, which means that, you know, the movie's gonna be like half decent, right? No. Also, the budget was $20 million. Keep that in mind. The opening scene where she pulls out her camera and starts live streaming is weird because it's made to look like she's live streaming, like it has little comments and emotes coming up on the sides of the screen, but if you actually look at her phone screen, she's recording a TikTok. It's a minor critique for sure, but it just shows how lazy this movie is. I don't know why they couldn't have just thrown in like a little live in the corner or not recorded it on TikTok. Like, why did they think, no, nobody will notice the pretty unique recording button that TikTok has in a movie where the main character is one of the most famous TikTokers ever? She just has toothpaste on her vanity, not in her bathroom. Is that the girl from the movie Tooth Fairy? Real talk, I don't know that actress's name off the top of my head, but she carried. Her role was so good. Like, it made me hate her. But I don't actually hate her. Like, she's a very good actress. She was probably the best actress in the movie. The camera movements are so weird. Sometimes they change angles faster or more frequently than necessary. And sometimes they switch to the camera being handheld, so it has like the little bit of shakiness, the subtle movement in the scene, which I don't get because it does nothing for the scene. It gives no emotion or sense of authenticity, which I personally feel like handheld shots tend to make. Just for comparison, here's a clip from the movie Knives Out. It's after the will is read and Marta is running to her car with the family bombarding her because she was just given like all of the dude's inheritance or whatever. The camera goes from steady movements to very shaky handheld, and this is really a great example of what I was trying to say, I think. And I really like the shakiness of the camera because it adds to the chaos in the atmosphere. It actually provides something for the movie, and the scene itself is just very good. It's kind of showing that like all of the family members were like kind of nice to her, and then they all quickly turned on her, and it's kind of representative of like your family until you like actually are, if that makes sense. It's just a very good scene. And what is funny about this scene with the shaky handheld being better than the ones in He's All That is that the Knives Out one, the one that I'm talking about in particular, was not intentional. The Steadicam broke mid-shot and they just decided to keep it. So an accident in one movie is better than every other intentional shot in He's All That. Not to say that like Knives Out and He's All That are on the same scale. They're not. I'm just like comparing the shots, you know, comparing that style of filming. Addison Rae's two friends dress better than her, and I feel like that's just wrong. I think my queen Mina said it best in her video about He's All That in regards to the wardrobe, so I'm just gonna play that for you guys because I literally could not say it better myself.
In Fashionista, they wrote that Wingate immersed herself in the new world of TikTok to stack Paget's wardrobe with brands an actual teen influencer would wear. But I honestly don't have any idea what side of TikTok she was on. Here's a couple of sins committed. Scoop neck chevron shift dress, wedge espadrille sandals, outdated floral print romper, governor's wife riding blazer, another questionable printed scoop neck dress, a waterfall cardigan, and skinny jeans?
Also, this plot of her losing hundreds of thousands of followers because she was live streaming where she caught her boyfriend cheating on her is laughably unrealistic. Like, I don't understand why Netflix would get this huge TikToker just to display that they have no idea how TikTok or Gen Z or even social media works. Honestly, it's good they threw Kourtney Kardashian in this so Addison wouldn't be the worst actor in her own movie. Is she god-awful? No. Is she good? She's okay.
Back in business, but I'll believe it when I see it. Love ya. Love ya.
You can have more than one tone, Courtney. I promise.
The dude with the beanie, the one that Addison ends up choosing to do the makeover, I don't know any of these characters' names. It's dude with beanie and Addison Rae, okay? The dude with beanie, I dislike the minute he steps on screen. The way they wrote him should literally be a crime because this dude is not a bad actor, really. But Jesus Christ, why did they make him such a useless edgelord that just acts pretentious and artsy just essentially for the aesthetic, like just to look like a tortured soul or whatever. Like whenever Addison's ex throws like a drink towards the trash and it splashes on Beanie Guy, he calls the ex and like his group of friends fascists. Why does the movie feel so rushed? It was like, boom, product placement, intro of Beanie Boy, live stream, Kourtney Kardashian, Addison is now at a horse stable. And this is just the first, 20 minutes of the movie. Everything is moving so fast, and I feel like nothing has happened at all. Cue the unrealistic high school party. Actually, I don't know, maybe this isn't unrealistic for rich people. Cue the unrealistic scene of the main character singing amazingly with choreographed dancing. In this scene is another prime example of Netflix not giving a shit about the quality of this movie. They edited her dancing, and they forgot to add in her hand. Why was this even edited in the first place? She's a TikToker. She was doing pretty basic TikTok dances. Why even edit that? And if it must be edited, why forget her hand? Did anyone that worked on this movie give two shits about it? This movie is just really, it's just an example of Netflix pumping out garbage that they know people will watch, even if it's hate watching, rather than taking the time to put out actual quality in all of their work. Netflix makes good stuff. I'm not saying that everything they do is terrible. We know they make good stuff. They continue to. But they are so quantity over quality that there's absolutely no consistency, and it genuinely is frustrating. Also, are you kidding me? This performance of Addison Rae singing Teenage Dream by Katy Perry is what makes Beanie Boy start to fall in love with her. Oh my god, he goes to sing with her. And that makes people follow her again. Also, that's entirely not what his edgy antisocial character would have done if they had been at least a teeny tiny bit of consistent, but whatever. Oh my god. What? I can't. Can you pause this? I need to write.
That guy's just
the fuck me eyes over a Katy Perry karaoke? Are you serious? Are you that down bad? Also, why does Netflix keep revolving all of Addison's issues around losing this sponsorship for college Addison's character had 1 million followers. She should have no trouble getting sponsorships, and being that popular means that sponsorships would pay pretty well. I know that having a sponsor is different from getting sponsors, like having a long-term relationship with a brand is a lot more serious, and I'm sure there's more money involved. I don't personally know, I'm just guessing. But she should still be, like, completely fine, even without that main sponsor. Especially because at this point, she should be able to make money outside of sponsorships, like through live streaming and the TikTok Creator Fund. As flawed as it is, the TikTok Creator Fund does exist. It's just, like, so detached from what social media really is. And it's a movie based on social media. The color grading is also really weird and inconsistent. Sometimes it'll be super highly edited, and sometimes it'll look like it wasn't color graded at all, and like the grass in the background will just look like shit. Also, I feel like this movie forgets its own plot sometimes. Like, the whole premise is that Addison chooses a loser boy to turn into a hot boy. But the horse riding and the party attending and them hanging out at that place where Beanie Boy talks about his dead mom, none of that has anything to do with upgrading him or anything. And yes, sure, it's them bonding and developing feelings. But she's in a bet to make this guy super cool, and she's on a time crunch. And that whole idea is just, like, only sometimes thrown in. Like, she'll be doing something and get a random text from that, like, her ex-friend that's, like, ready to be a loser. And it's just like, oh yeah, there's this whole other side plot. Cue unrealistic but expected shopping montage. The shaving his face and trimming his hair montage was, like, really fucking weird and uncomfortably shot, honestly. 2 other notes about it. The razor that they used wouldn't have made him completely bare-faced. It's just kind of like a trimmer, not a razor. Either way, it doesn't matter because she never actually touches his face with it. Why the fuck is their prom a dance-off? And that's all the notes I took. That's really all the notes I took. I started to, like, take less and less notes towards the end of the movie because I was like, at that point, I was just repeating the same thing of like, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. So it's still 4 whole pages of notes. I had to change my battery pack, and then I grabbed a rat while I was up. That was He's All That. It's not all that, actually. I will say, I'm not even an Addison fan, but don't give her shit for the movie. The movie is awful, but most of the movie being awful is not at all the fault of Addison. Like, the worst thing Addison did in this movie was just not be a great actress, but everything else is what's wrong with this movie. The laziness, the writing, the cinematography, all of it is shit. But Addison was not responsible for that, so I don't know. Don't go try to kill her for this. The worst thing she did was be mediocre, which is fitting. Anyway, that was my video about He's All That. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you agreed with my opinions, because yes, these are opinions, and if you disagree, that's fine, but if you disagree, don't hate me. Okay, I'll be back next week. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, comment on the video, share the video, and if you liked the video, then subscribe to the video maker, which is me, and also hit the bell because I am greedy and want views. Please don't chew on my eyelashes. Okay, thank you so much. We love you, and we will see you later. Goodbye.